An unwavering commitment to the ideals of rasa nishpatti has ensured survival and growth of ancient Indian art forms much beyond an artist's life and times. This, however, has necessitated democratization, modernization, and institutionalization of art through structures, systems, and processes guided by principles and values. How does an artist partake in this process to experience and expand the art? What are the ensuing trials and tribulations? What mysteries and treasures await in such an endeavour? To explore this subject and more, here's a conversation with Arundhati Patwardhan, a multifaceted dancer, choreographer, teacher, and a visionary director of Kalavardhini Dance Company Pune. With an MA in Bharatnatyam and a Nritya Sadhana of nearly 4 decades, Arundhati is deeply committed to preservation and evolution of Bharatnatyam and to carry forward a rich legacy which she has inherited. Welcome, Arundhati, to this conversation.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
So am I, because we've been thinking of inviting you for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And as a podcast, to be very honest, Asha and I, we weren't sure whether we are ready for you. And, it's such an honor and a privilege to have somebody like you, Arundhati, in this conversation. Somebody who have done so much of work in the area of dance, and we'll of course talk about it. But I've been thinking, how do I begin this conversation? And I don't know. Since morning, I've been thinking how I should start this conversation, and a story kind of happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
The story goes like this:
Okay.
that Arundhati has been walking on an endless road.
Mm-hmm.
She knew where the road began, but she has no clue where the road is going.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been walking on that road for days, weeks, months, probably even years.
Mm-hmm.
And even she doesn't know how much time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And the road doesn't seem to end.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she's walking all alone, and she's tired, she's thirsty, she's hungry, and she doesn't find any source of water anywhere. She doesn't find any source of food anywhere, and she, in search of food and water also, she keeps walking. Till such time she finds a kind of a tall peepal tree at a distance. And with some hope, kind of she goes there, and the tree has a lot of shade. So she's been walking for a long time, so she decides to sit down and rest. And to her surprise, she finds a matka full of water there, a pot, and a little mitti ka glass. And she has water. She drinks a lot of water, and her thirst seems to have quenched for the moment. And the tiredness overcomes her, and she goes to sleep there. She lies down under the tree in the shade. She doesn't know how long she's been sleeping, but she enjoys that sleep.
Yeah.
And after some time, nobody knows how much time has passed. She feels as if somebody is waking her up. She feels that no, probably she's dreaming. But then she wakes up, opens her eyes, and sees an old man standing there.
Hmm.
with a smile on his face.
Hmm.
She's not sure whether she's actually seeing that man or even that is a dream.
Hmm.
But nonetheless, she also kind of smiles back. And the old man says, "Where are you coming from?
Hmm. Yeah.
Where are you going?
Hmm.
And what are you doing here in a place which is middle of nowhere?"
Hmm. Hmm.
So for me, the story stopped there. And I'm
Wow.
wondering what would Arundhati say if the story has to continue to the old man.
Yeah. So, wow. I'm glad you asked this. And where I come from, my background, my mother is a illustrated dancer, Dr. Sucheta Chapekar.
Of course.
And my father was an engineer, and they fell in love and they got married, and he was a sports person also. So we had a lot of sports in our house. So even my aunts, they used to do running and athletics and all that. So earlier as a child, as I think I was one year old when I started swimming. He put me in the water and I was swimming at that time. And from there, my journey as a swimmer started, which continued till I was in 9th. That year, I was to represent nationals, and I fell down and had a very big injury to my ankle. So it was quite heartbreaking, and it was a long process. I couldn't walk for whole of 1 year almost, and the opportunity was gone. So at that time, till that time, of course I was interested in dancing, but then I never danced. I don't know why. I used to accompany to every performance, as to go everywhere, do the backstage work for her, do everything, but never danced. After that 1 year, when my rehab was going on, I said that, okay, you don't want to go to the pool, you don't want to, because that was my life at that time, school and my swimming. So school was like regular activity, whatever, but swimming was really my life, and I wanted to coach afterwards, and I had dreams in that, and they were all, as a 17-year, 16-year, I was really disappointed. And then I said that I think you need some kind of sense of achievement, and what can give you that is dance, I think. Start coming to the class. So I don't know what happened, but I said yes. And I started going to the class. And within 2 years, I did my Arangetram. I don't know how.
Just 2 years.
Just 2 years. I used to go to the class, and then she used to say, now stand with the first year girls. In 1 month, I said, I know all this. And she could see that I could dance, all that. Then she said, okay, now join the second year. So like that, the progress, I never knew that I had all that inside me. I had never tried with my body. That's it. And on that day of my Arangetram, I realized that this is what I want to do. This is something which not only interests me as a person, Arundhati, but also I might find a purpose of life on this path. So from that day, I never stopped dancing. I took commerce. I was very much interested in economics and accounts, and I wanted to join my father in his business. So I continued studying that till I graduated. At that time, the time came where there was a decision to make whether I want to do MBA or something,
Sure.
some conventional path, or I want to take dancing as my further study. So that time, my friend, now my husband, who said that study you can do anytime. You can anytime at 50 also you can go to college and study. But dance, if you have to do, then you have to do it now. So this is how dance developed. And when I was doing my post graduation in dancing, I really fell in love with this art. That was the time when it really made me think wide and deep, and all the 360-degree of this art form, not only presenting my art on stage but studying it from where it is coming, why it is like that. I started asking all those questions: why, when, how. And it really got me, I would say caught me in a phase where I wanted to think everything in dance. Whatever used to come, like my daughter now says that thoda sa switch off kar, switch off your mind at some point of time. Anything and everything I say, or see, I think of how I can put it into dancing.
Okay.
So like one day I saw 15 minutes before there was heavy rain, and then immediately the sun comes up, and the transition itself, and we created a small choreography out of it. So whatever I see, I think to put it into dancing. But it was not that easy when I thought of taking it as my career, because as I said, my mother was already an established dancer guru, and for like having 50 years of career. And so again a time came where there was little conflict with myself, that okay, I'm her daughter and everyone knows me and I can dance, like because I'm her daughter I can dance. But I wanted to prove something more, and I wanted to search inside me whether I have something more to give to this art form, to myself, and to people around me who were there. And I felt responsible for the students who were learning from me. I was not like, she enjoys teaching and she teaches, I can't leave things to that. I want them to perform well. I want them to understand it. I want them to go beyond it and search their own paths in the same sphere, because it's such a vast art. Is something which today I see one corner of it, and the other day today it is red, but next day it can be orange.
Yeah, I mean, as they say, the world of art is full of mysteries and treasures.
Yeah.
But let me kind of step back over here. Given that your mother, Sucheta Thai, whom we so lovingly call her as Sucheta Thai.
Yeah.
I have grown up my life seeing Sucheta Thai perform on stage, on Doordarshan. I mean, everything that at least the state of Maharashtra learned about this dance form called Bharatnatyam, which is predominantly a South India based dance form.
Right.
I mean, the state of Maharashtra owes so much of debt to Sucheta Thai to have introduced this art to all of us. And it is what it is today.
Yes.
Now, this brings me to this theme called privilege.
Yeah.
Now, there's so much being spoken these days about, here is somebody who is a privileged child or a privileged artist, etc. And I don't know why, but somehow I feel privilege is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this from an outsider, right?
Yeah.
How has this whole thing called privilege played in your life?
Yeah. So, from wanting to just look like her and step into her dance dress and wear her jewelry and just be like her, to a person who understands, I call it Tattva Swarup, that all that is outside, I is much more inside. And that if I take it and create my own, like I always give one example, that you see a dress on the mannequin and you are able to buy it, but when you put it on yourself, it doesn't look good many a times. That privilege is like this, that you have the privilege, I have the privilege to have her every time beside me. I have her on a phone call. But, that privilege, if I don't use it properly, and also it comes with responsibility of carrying forward that legacy. Also, it opens the first door for you. That's what I said. Always say that it will knock the door, it will open the door.
And then you have to show up.
Yeah, you have to show up. You have to have that strength to carry forward that path inside and convince the other person that I am not here only because I am someone's daughter. That has only opened the door. Everything else is going to be my thing, what I have done. Of course, whatever I have, that has a basis of being a daughter of a illustrated dancer, but then finally I have to prove myself. So if someone thinks that because I am someone's daughter and everything is like hara bhara, so
Doesn't work that way.
doesn't work that way. I would just like to say a small incident here that people used to ask me, why do you have to go to competitions? And I have never got a single prize in any competition, because they used to feel that she is, she's daughter of someone. Why should, though I was good or bad or whatever, but the first thing used to be, so I went for a government scholarship and they asked me, why do you need scholarship when you have, like you said, that the university is in your house? Why do you need scholarship to go out? And, that is of course, I got the scholarship and I went to other gurus and learned. That's another thing. And that's also, I feel, my mother is such a person that if you are hungry for knowledge, she will never say no.
Doesn't matter whether it is Arundhati or anybody else.
Nobody else. She never says ki now you are my student, don't go anywhere else, don't see anything else. She will find out that who is a good artist. You should go and watch. I think we are blessed to have her. I mean, that's real guru. So she always says that I am holding your finger, but I am going to tell you to leave it at one point of time.
Absolutely.
And go and search. I am there. If you don't find anything, come back. But she will never ever say that you don't go to any other person, you don't do this. Like, there were opportunities for me to, act in a movie, do modeling, do lots of things. She always said that if you're thinking this as an experience, then go and come back. But at any point of time, if you feel that this is what I want to do, then classical dance is not the field for you. Then you have to switch. These two things will not go together, but that experience will surely help you in your mainstream profession, that is classical dance.
But there must have been a time for you, and I mean, I would like to believe that this would happen to many an artists who are born in a privileged family, who have a pre-degree in that art field, that at some point in time, I want to make my own mark.
Yeah.
I want to find my own thumbprint, my own signature.
Yeah.
How was that process for you? I mean, as in, what was the inner dialogue going on for you when
it was
this whole idea about, yes, I have these privileges, but no, I want to be myself.
Yes. So, after my MA and after teaching for a few years at ICE class, I felt, see, there are artists who are, and I respect them for their thought process, that they're happy to be under their guru and, continue whatever their guru is doing. But I always had that, I used to tell me that, कुठलाही विचार आला की त्याच्यावर बस, she used to say. Sit on that thought. If it pokes you after 1 week, 2 weeks, then it is worth giving a shot, So because I'm so much full of ideas that every day I have new ideas. And she used to say, stop, hold on, you have to do one thing at a time. So when I told her that I want to start my own class, I don't want to teach here, I want to experiment in teaching, because my father used to teach in Pune Engineering College for 12 years. We had a family tradition that we have teachers in, so that has come little bit. I love teaching. So I told her that this is something, the way you are doing it, of course it is foolproof and girls are learning, but I think the times are changing, and I want to experiment in this. So she said that now you have taught under me for 2.5 years, I can allow you to do that, so you can start your own thing. So I feel that I'm privileged very much, and I'm glad, and I don't want to go away from that at all, is having a guru or having a mother who, as a mother and as a guru, leave you to do whatever you want to do, and still she says that she's there. If you fail, come back. So then I started my own classes in a small town, Alibag, away from Pune. So I felt that why stay here? Why, when she has her own prowess there, why go into that? I'll go somewhere else. So at that time, the opportunity knocked and I took it. And I used to travel for 6 hours. At that time, there was no proper commuting mode to Alibag.
Did you travel in the Lal Dabba?
Yes, I traveled in Lal Dabba for 7 years. I used to go every week. Evening, I used to reach 4 o'clock, take the class from 6 o'clock to 8:30. I used to stay at my relative's place. Take the next day, because there was no bus after 7 o'clock. So I used to stay with some of my relatives and then take a bus early morning, come back. At that time, I was teaching quite a lot. I was also teaching in the university. The course was evolving at Lalit Kala Kendra, and I felt a lot of interest in analyzing that at different level, our teaching is different. Like if I'm teaching in a class of there are 12 children in the class, that's a different thing. If I'm teaching in the school, that's a different thing. At university level, it's a different thing.
At Alibag, it is different.
Yeah, at Alibag it is different, and in Pune it is different.
Of course. So let's stay with the Alibag experience.
So when I started the class, people used to come and ask me, what you teach? I said, I teach classical dance, which is called Bharatnatyam, which is from South India. Yeah, we have heard the name. So do you want to enroll your child? No, we just came for inquiry. Mm-hmm. So I had 4 girls in the class. They were my whatever acquaintances whose daughters and all those, they came.
And what year was that?
That was 99.
25 years back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that time there was a lot of Maharashtrian Brahmin community, and they knew I, like you said, that we all owe I that people know about Bharatanatyam.
Sure.
Not only Bharatanatyam, also classical dance. Absolutely. There were only 2 people in Maharashtra, Shrimati Rohini Bhate and Suchita Chapekar.
That's it. I mean, as I have grown up only with these 2 names over the last 50 years.
Yeah. But they were not ready to send their children. So I said, okay, 5 to 5. 5 say we will start the class.
Correct.
And one thing is there, for last 25 years, the girl who has come to my class, unless they have shifted from one city to the other, or there are some unavoidable incidences, girls don't leave my class. That's there. So those who came, those 5 girls, they stayed with me for 7 years. So slowly, with the word of mouth, the people started coming and sitting in the class. We used to have the class. Still the class is there. There used to be a bakery, and this lady, you understand, in Alibag they had started their own bakery, baking bread and everyday cakes and everything. So that was another revolution. So they had this huge building, and they had given me the terrace, covered terrace. So I started class there, and she used to say, don't worry, you can stay, there is no one, you can stay with me, but take the class, because her granddaughter used to learn from me. So she was very keen that the class should run, And so like this, one by one, and a funny experience, people used to, when my class used to go on, people used to come and sit to watch.
What is going on?
Yeah, and then they used to ask, माझ्या मुलीला पण चालेल का घातलं तर? They used to say, माझी मुलगी 4 वर्षाची आहे. म्हटलं नाही, थोडंसं थांबा. You can put her like 6 is the right age. So slowly start geared up. After 1 year, there were 25 girls in the class. And at one point of time, like 2000, around 2005 6, we had 100 was the number in the class.
1999, if I am not mistaken,
Yeah.
and correct me if I am wrong, Arundhati, Alibag must have been a small, sleepy town,
yeah.
unlike a busy tourist place that it is today.
Absolutely.
And finding one student must have been very similar to Jyotiba Phule trying to get one student in his school.
So the funny thing, someone had told me that you have no worries. You start your class and girls will start coming. So and it's like, तुला काय आहे ना, तुला काही त्रासच नाही आहे म्हणजे.
Correct.
So I said, let's have tras a little bit, so that I keep pushing myself to
Correct.
keep the barriers pushing, so that I have that happiness that I have created this. Somewhere that small thing was there, that we started the conversation from there, that what I had in my mind, that it was not going away from but it was finding my own thing. Of course, I had this in mind, that I have not changed the course a bit, what I had done.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single thing. The only thing what I changed is I created books.
Correct.
So I had created, we call it kitta. So she used to give, she still feels that you should make them write in Devanagari and all the Sanskrit shlokas, but girls don't have time now. So we have made books. I made videos at that time, like 2002, we already had videos, like video CDs.
Wow.
To give first we had audio cassettes.
Correct.
Then we had video series. So people feel that in pandemic online teaching has started, but we had started it long back. Because see, I used to go only once in a week to Alibag. How
Correct.
they would practice.
Correct.
And I used to tell them, you have to practice and come to the class.
Correct.
So they don't know how to say tayya tay and tayyum tatta, and their parents used to say, आम्हाला काय घेता येत नाही practice, तुम्ही कसं म्हणता practice घ्या. That gave me the inspiration to create these CDs and books and everything. So now it's a foolproof system that
Correct.
once a girl comes to our class, from the first year she has an audio visual experience of learning.
Okay.
So like in that CD, I has spoken about how should be the Anga Shuddha, how you should stand, how the hands, the lines and the forms, and things which the visual comes in front of them, even in the audio.
Of course.
And then when they listen to that audio, they try to stand like that, and the torso should be upright and all those things. So this is what happened when I used to I am totally a non-singer. I used to say you have to learn singing because dance is visual music.
Correct.
But now she agrees that though I can't sing, the music is there inside.
Sure.
But that happened because I said, okay, I can't sing, but I can experience music.
Sure.
So I used to listen to music all 12 hours, like going 6 hours, coming.
So did you have a Walkman kind of a thing?
Yeah, yes, I had that. And sometimes beginning I don't have anything, and I didn't have anything, and then I used to put that Walkman like that, and I used to hear. Then my husband was in Merchant Navy, so he got me one nice headphone, and then I started listening to music like 6 hours. Kuch nahi baki. I have to just listen to the music, because I understood what she meant when I am teaching. If every time I have to put the tape recorder and play the music, then I can't stop them. I can't correct them. I have to sing and teach them.
Correct.
So at least that much singing, the nuances I have to get. Maybe
Sure.
I can't sing the ragam.
Sure.
Maybe I can't give them that experience which a singer would give, but I can give them the structure of that music and what needs to come out, or the bhava which is expected from that. At least that much I have to sing. So what was the way? Because I never wanted to go to a singing class. So then I kept listening. So all these things, they happened in this journey. So like your story, the middle part of that story was this, that there was a lot of contemplation, monologue. I used to write. sitting in that lal dabba, because every 15 days there would be a tire puncture.
Of course.
And then 4 hours delay, 6 hours delay. I used to take my book and pen and I used to write. I have a lot of essays written like that, what I felt today. Like, I'm frustrated why I'm here, or I'm just feeling there was this new highway was getting built, and at that time surang they used to put, and like 6 hours ka delay and all that. So I have written that to pave a new path there has to be a blast. So you know, so
Yeah.
relating things to what is happening around me, that was something happened in this journey. I also started simultaneously a small class in Chinswad. That was another experience, because Chinswad was an industrial town and very close to Pune, but at that time there was nothing in Chinswad apart from industry. There were like, people only knew going to school, coming back, that's it, and the parents used to work in the industry. There were Mr. Gangude, who started first singing class. Savani Ravindra, you must be knowing,
Of
her
course.
father. So I used to take class in his house.
Wow.
So, I always felt that I have to take my dance to places where they are not reachable to this beautiful art. So that was one thing which was always there in my mind. So I always taught in smaller places.
No, in fact, thanks to your class in Chinchwad, on our episode, we had one of your students very early on our program,
Oh,
Mrinalini Bhave,
yeah.
and she spoke so beautifully. But uh, let me come from the other side over here, Arundhati. What has dance meant to girls beyond dance itself? I mean,
Yes.
what is it that, why do girls, especially in India, even in smaller towns, they aspire to pursue at least one Indian dance form, be it Kathak
Yeah,
or Bharatnatyam or Kuchipudi, Odissi, whatever. What does dance mean to a 8-year-old, 10-year-old girl?
Yeah. So when they come to the class, it is like, "Ka alias tu, kai shikala alias, ka alias, why have you come?" So, I like to dance. So why you like to dance? Then they say, "I feel happy." But then anyways you are dancing in the house. No, why you have to come here in the class to dance? I said this dance will give you a different vision. I said, because of I telling you to come here, you are coming, or you want to explore something, that's why you have come. So one girl one day said, "I had come with my cousin to your class and I liked you, so that's why I want to come." One girl said that, "I want to become a dancer, that's why I'm coming." Then from Pune there was one girl, she said that, "I want to become a doctor like my parents, but dance is something which I don't want to leave." So girls of 8-year-old, like since last 10 years I am seeing that they have a very, very fixed approach towards it. They like that happiness which is derived from that. And many a times classical dance can be very regimentative for them, and it doesn't give them that happiness which, when they dance on a Bollywood music or something. We have made our course in such a way that anybody and everybody should dance and can dance. So in first 6 years we don't tell them that you don't have a flair of dancing, you cannot be a classical dancer. We admit everyone in the class. We have a 40-year lady, we have a 6-year girl dancing side by side in first year. So that's another, I feel that there are different reasons now for after 6 years they are like, "Taiya, I don't want to leave dance. This is something where I feel liberated. This is where I feel that I don't have to study. It comes to me naturally. You have given us that." So there are many, many different things. See, like here I would really like to tell you one incident when, like, before pandemic, I used to go and teach in a small school, uh, municipal school, and students were from lower, lower middle class, not even middle class, lower class. So there were lots of problems. Everybody had problem at their house. Something. This girl had a mentally challenged brother, and her mother used to work. So they used to tie him to the something and lock the door. And she used to come to school, and the mother used to go for work. So one day she was very sad, and she was not. I mean, I didn't know what has happened to this girl. In every class she used to be very happy and cheerful. And then I said, why you are like this? So she said that her brother was not well and she wants to go home, but she can't even bunk. She bunk school because there was dance class. And she said that this is the only time when I forget everything. I don't know how the 1 hour goes. And I don't want to miss this class, and that's why I have come to the school. So, it is beyond words, it is beyond imagination that a physical activity with mind involved in that can give you. That is why it is called Brahmananda Sahodara. That Ananda, if art can give you. And dance, little more because it is physical. See, the way I feel after dancing half an hour, the same way I used to feel after my 200 meters breaststroke event. Because it is also physiological.
Of course.
It is also mind, it is also brain, everything coming together and creating something which you can see and which you cannot see. So there are all other visual arts where you can say art, this is my art and this is the artist. Dance is the only art where the art is the artist or artist is the art. So
true. I mean, I have heard Sucheta Tai so passionately speaking about how this dance form at a very different level is trying to communicate an emotion.
Right.
And the whole attempt, if I were to quote Sucheta Tai, or the whole goal is rasa nishpatti.
Correct.
Essentially getting the audience and the viewers to feel that emotion.
Right.
I mean, that is why you feel, rongte khade ho jate hain types as they
Correct.
say. But then you have, over the last 25 plus years, in a very structured way, in a very methodical way, gone about, designing programs and courses for many young girls in different parts of Maharashtra.
Yes.
And I believe Kalavardhini,
Yes.
your dance academy or dance school, is today live and kicking and vibrant in so many places. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students who are enjoying this.
Yeah.
Now, there is this whole idea of converting a dance school into an institution.
Right. Right.
And I use the word institution with a lot of care.
Yeah.
With a primary belief that an institution has a life of its own.
Yes.
And an identity of its own.
Yeah.
And I say this because of the management consulting work that I do, but that's a different part. But then let's look at Kalavardhini as an institution and how it has evolved from its own baby steps to an independent entity that it is today, and what is keeping it ticking and going, because it's not easy to see an art institution being sustained for so long.
I would say all credit goes to my father, because he was the one who told I that that your art should not die with you. It should be there when you are here and when you are not. So he said, first you register an institution. You design a course which can be taught by anyone. Today you are there and you are teaching. Earlier in the Guru Shishya Parampara, what used to happen is, today Guru felt that आज मुझे ये सिखाना है, आज ये राग, या आज ये टोडा टुकड़ा, whatever. Even in, though Bharatnatyam had little more structured format of teaching, still it was like that. But when Rukmini Devi started Kalakshetra after independence, she was the first person to institutionalize dance, because dance was prowess of Guru and Shishya. That's
Absolutely. Just the two of them.
Yes. But she said, why deprive people to learn this beautiful art? So that was the first institution where people came from all parts of the world and learned. And still it is like that.
Absolutely.
So taking maybe the inspiration from that, my mother created a course. There was no course before that.
Correct.
So this course is dependent on the art pedagogy, whatever is available, because we don't have a study in India like that, art pedagogy. It is very new subject. So I thought that starting it from a very basic level, then she created the levels, degree of difficulty, and the flow, like for movements, but that was there only for her and then her students. But there was no structure that would sustain for years, because everyone would go away from IE learning that, and they would make their own changes just for the sake of it, or maybe the environment or whatever. But then if the course is foolproof, then why don't we make it a standard one? And I always felt that why there is no ISO for art, why there is no standardization for art. There must be, because something which we like has, see, what is beauty? What is aesthetics? What is aesthetic of anything? It is balance, it is contrast, it is proportion. And on these three things, anything which is created is beautiful. You can't say it is bad. I mean, subjectivity would be always there.
Of course.
But you can't say this is bad. This is there. This is my expression. This is your expression. But when it is based on these principles of aesthetics, then it is to be there, it is sustained. So I told in 2000, when I started working as part of our institution Kalavardhini, which was registered in 83, there was nothing happening apart from I teaching in the class and her students teaching wherever they are. But there was no cohesiveness. They only thought that in first year we have to teach tattado, nattado, whatever the technical terminology, but how?
Correct.
That how also should be defined. And that how, which is put, like we wanted a sutra, so everyone can put their values in that and create their own thing. So we created a margam, a way of teaching. We had a teachers training course. So I collected all of wherever they were IE students. I made them join us and shared my ideas that how we should do it, and few of them agreed, of course it's like that, but most of them agreed that we should have a common platform where we should meet, discuss. If we want to make any changes, then that should be discussed. So we have now yearly annual meeting where all the teachers who are teaching our course, so we made a Kalavardhini course, and we teach it in all the classes which are there. So as you asked, why it has sustained for so many years, and it will, because we keep updating that. We keep experimenting in it. There is a structure, but then timely we make changes. We have changed according to the times. Like we have adopted the Instagram and Facebook and social media and making people aware of it. And also that now people know that if you're learning in an institution, you have a backup. Like if I'm learning from a guru, you will seek knowledge, but then to stand in the field as or take dance as career, you need an institution that you are a graduate from XYZ reputed institute will give you that backup. So Kalavardhini has created that. Now we are registered with Maharashtra government. We give our certificates are valid for SSC students getting marks. So in all the aspects of institutionalizing the art form, I have tried in last 10 years to get to that level where anybody can come to us, tell me that they have learned dance and they want to take up our course. Like a franchisee, we can give them the course and we have a proper structure of that, and they can work with us.
So let me ask you here then, like for example, in the world of dance, I mean, of course, you have your inspiration and a role model, let's say in Sucheta Tai. That's how you become Arundhati, and you say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is my identity, and this is my purpose. Over the years that you have built Kalavardhini as an institution, how would you define Kalavardhini's identity and its own purpose and its own values? And did you have any role model to look up to as you were institutionalizing Kalavardhini?
Yeah. So I set, and I 100% believe in that. We call it Trisutri. We have three things: Kaleसाठी kala, जीवनासाठी kala, and Swanandaसाठी kala. So there are three ways by which you can approach art. So one is Kaleसाठी kala.
Art for the sake of art.
Art for the sake of art. Art for your own happiness, and art for life. So these are the three things on which our institution, this is our mission, vision, that we want to create, not only create dancers, but we want to create a community, and we want to give happiness to people. They won't become dancers going ahead, but why deprive them from learning something which is so beautiful? When I was building this, I think Tatas have been my biggest, I have read a lot about them. I feel that everyone should feel inside that I am a Kalavardhinian. That should be the thing. And they should, like we have girls who now have their own daughters enrolled in, they couldn't make it. I mean, they took some different courses in their life, but they want their daughters to learn dance, and first thing they will do is they will call मी पण कलावर्धिनी मध्ये होते, आता माझ्या मुलीला शिकायचंय. So so believing in that process is something, so that is building community, that is right. Making them understand. So I always says that what we have to do is we have to make people aware. We have to, आम्हाला काही डान्स कळत नाही, that can be the first sentence for classical dance, but then making, arranging programs. Like we have a series called Nritya Sadhana. So this is also a periphery of Kalavardhini, that we organize some programs which are educational. Like we have a program how to appreciate classical dance. We do it for our parents, because if they don't appreciate what their daughters are doing or sons are doing, then how we will have ticketed audience? We won't. So I would like to proudly say that 2008 we started, that was the first purely classical dance festival in Pune, which was called Parikrama. We ran it for 10 years totally by us, Kalavardhini. We used to get sponsorships and we used to run it every year. It was a yearly festival. Then we ran a series of programs which were called Nritya Sadhana, which is where, because people are aware of theatre, they love theatre in Pune. So we used to have a theme for the program. So like Shiva. So the two compeers would have a dialogue in between. So one is a little older Thai and one is a small girl, and she's asking questions. And from between that we would have place compositions. So we had that. Then we did a series of programs in the temples around Pune. So every Purnima, we will have 8 programs in 8 different places in Pune.
Beautiful.
So that is general audience. We used to carry our one stereo with us, and nothing. A board was used to be written outside that आज program आहे संध्याकाळी 5:30. So bhajan, we normally have bhajans in the temples. Like that, we will have a classical dance program. Theme is Shiva or Vishnu or whatever, because in temples we can have mythological things. So that we did. Then we had a competition for choreography. Normally competitions are just you practice, you come and you take the prize and go. But we had a competition which was running with Dadar Matunga in Mumbai and also in Pune, which was for choreography in classical dance.
Beautiful.
So then we had a festival of choreography that we used to call people. We used to give subjects, multiple subjects, and they can choose one and they can present there. We have presented multiple interdisciplinary programs like Chitra and dance, Shilpa and dance, Adhyatma and dance. So we had a series of programs like this.
And then you have the annual Guru Purnima festival, the Anugraha.
Yes. So in that, for last 10 years, we have done 10 different themes. So first, when we started, the idea was to bring all ICE senior students together. So 10 of her first students performed in first Anugraha when we started. Then there was mother-daughter. Like their daughters are also dancing. By that time, my daughter was also dancing. So I felt that I should, gather all of them together. Then we had this I would like to speak about is Ai's research on Maratha compositions, which is like everyone must be knowing that Shivaji Maharaj had a brother who was there in Karnataka, and
Shahaji Raze.
Venkoji Raze. And their descendants ruled South India for after Nayakas, after Vijayanagar dynasty. They ruled for 150 years.
That's in Tanjore, right?
Yeah, that's in Tanjore. So from 16th century to 18th century, the third Shivaji was the last one. And in that period, the last treatise on dance was written, which is Sangit Saramrut, which is in Sanskrit. There are plays written in 3 languages because the Rajabhasha earlier was Chola, then Nayaka, and then Marathi. So people knew all 3 languages.
Correct.
In Tanjavur, there is a Marathi called Tanjavur Marathi. Everyone must have seen that video which is there. And there are people who still speak. There is Ramdas Swami Mutt in Tanjavur. There is Saraswati Mahal Library. So what Marathi did was they were always keen on education. So they created a library which is called Saraswati Mahal. There was Yelamadi, which was Raja's palace. There is Bruhadishwar temple, that's the tallest. And there was Ranga Mahal. So in Maratha period, the Devadasi tradition became the Sadar tradition. So Sadar is commoner's place.
Correct.
So we have this phrase, Maharaj Sadarevar Ali. So at that time, Maharaj used to come there and solve the problems of commoners.
Correct.
So at that place, dance performances used to happen. And Marathas they were super intelligent. There are compositions in Carnatic music which is written in staff notation.
Wow.
And the words are Marathi on that.
Wow.
So there are hundreds, thousands of compositions which are there written for dance. So I's Guru Acharya Parvati Kumar started the research in 70, I think. And then I took it forward and she did research on Shahaji the second compositions. He was more philosophical. And then there was Sarfoji who Masterji did the research on. He was more playful writer. Shahaji was more philosophical. He did pilgrimage and he wrote 3 sthali. There is a book called 3 sthalicha Ravanya. So Lavani was a writing meter in which he wrote Adhyatmic poetry. So it's so interesting. There is a poetry where see how confluence of languages. the sentence starts in Tamil. There are Telugu words and the grammar is Marathi. So hoti, hote, karte, zate is all Marathi, but the all other words coming in the poetry. So I feel that incorporating these compositions in our courses have also made us popular in, especially in Maharashtra. And further I study, which is Nritya Ganga, which is collaborating Hindustani music with Bharatnatyam. That has taken us, I think, to the
Absolutely.
whole world.
That has really globalized
Yeah.
Kalavardhini and the
Yes.
work that you have been doing for almost close to 3 decades now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so wonderful to hear, because here is an institution
Yes.
that has been conceptualized, created, and built
Yes.
brick by brick, if I can
Yes.
say so,
Yes.
around certain values, certain principles, and woven around certain periodic rituals.
Yes.
Could be festivals, could be events for the commoners as well as for the elites.
Yeah, so we work in 3 verticals. One is the teaching vertical, one is performance vertical, and one is research and documentation vertical, where the sustenance
Absolutely.
will come. What is there now is in the performance vertical, and what we want to have will come from the teaching vertical. So that is the vision what we have, that we want to create an institution where all these 3 verticals will work hand in hand. Because in art, without all these 3 aspects, I believe there is no art. I mean, it can become contemporary. It can just rise with the artist and die with the artist.
Absolutely. And I think for doing this also would require certain leadership
Right.
within the institution itself.
Right.
I mean, this can't be done by one Sucheta Tai or one Arundhati.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
even if you have 10 hands and 20 legs, you need so many minds, hands, and legs coming together.
Correct.
And I'm sure your students and then who graduate and who become teachers
Yes.
are a part of this leadership
Yes.
process itself.
So few years ago, as you rightly said, the thought just struck me that what if I don't create the, what will happen after me?
Correct.
So the first step was taken, that we started a small festival called Mukula, which is organized on 14th November, that is Baldin. So 9 to 19, the students and who want to become artists, who want to take up dance as or art as profession, we invite them in this festival. So I said, why not make the same age group as organizers? So the first group, I chose the girls from the class. I told them that this is the structure. I am there with you to guide you, but you have to organize this. You think from how to get money for this, which auditorium, all the infrastructure. I'll guide you. I'll be there with you. And now that also is running for 10 years. Every year we have a different team. The first team, so we have a proper setup for that. They hand over to the previous team, hand over the things to the next team. So every 2 years we change the members of the team, and
I mean, kudos to you, because truly speaking, Arundhati, art is one thing.
Yeah.
Sustaining it is another thing. I mean, there is this 2 beautiful phrases that late Shri Ravi Paranspe, one of the greatest painters of India, and I had the privilege to have a very close association with him for many years.
Yeah.
Ravi Kaka, as we used to call him,
Yeah.
he would always use these 2 phrases called Varsa Hakka and Varsa Vruddhi,
Correct.
which is what is my inheritance
Correct.
and what is the value that I am adding to the inheritance.
Absolutely.
I think what I'm hearing from you over the last almost an hour of this conversation, Arundhati, is there is this fantastic, amazing inheritance that you have received from Sucheta Tai, your mother, but you are not just left it at that.
Yeah.
You're adding something to you. You are institutionalizing it. You're taking it beyond the founders and creating very professional structures and mechanisms.
Yeah.
And being a guide mentor in the whole process. So, I'm coming back to the story that we started, where the old man wakes up Arundhati and says, "Where have you come from?" And she's been telling us all along where she has come from. And then he says, "Where are you heading?" But at this stage in the story, the old man says, "I'm going to give you 4 gifts, Arundhati. You have invested all your life into growing and sustaining this art form and giving joy to so many people. There are 4 powers I am giving you as a gift. And the 4 powers are your own inner identities, which have always been there with you, but I'm just giving some names to those. And they will be your constant companion in your forward journey." And he says the first companion will be the crusader.
Yeah.
The second is a custodian. Third is the artist. And fourth, the guide mentor.
Yeah.
And the reason the old man says this to Arundhati, because in Arundhati's story of where she's come from, at least from what I have heard, Arundhati, I felt that Arundhati has been Arundhati thanks to these 4.
Yeah.
The crusader, the custodian, the artist, and the guide mentor.
Yeah.
And Arundhati is now about to leave this place after resting in that story. And the old man gives her a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and a pencil, and says, "Take it with you."
Yeah. So,
And choose your path with these 4 companions. So, does Arundhati have any thoughts and ideas as to what would be the first lines she would write on that blank piece of paper?
I think mentor and guide, that's something I would, from here, I have lot of experiences to share with people, and at this stage I know that I have sowed a seed which has already started taking roots, and I'm absolutely sure that within few years the vision I have for this institution will be taken over by the people who understand, not only understand but believe in the same vision, and they will go ahead. So I would like to take a backseat and see how it grows, because that's something I have always thought of, that wanted to do everything, but at the same time I wanted people around me. I never wanted to, ekla chalo re was never my thing, and still I can't do that. I want people around me. I want people to believe in something. I want people to debate and make me think and rethink and get with some new ideas. And they say that tai tujha ideas and we will work it on. So all that is something which I have always, so like, I sometimes think that what is the core that has made me keep on going in this, or when my daughter or my students ask me that what is your advice for us, I say that be creative. The medium can be anything. Today it is dance, tomorrow my body doesn't allow me to dance, but if I am not creative, then the Arundhati will die. So that's the core of me, and I feel that everyone has this streak in them. And unless and even why you are doing this podcast, because you get those creative ideas from that. It makes you think, it makes you understand the life around you in a 100 different perspectives. So I feel that being creative even in small things which are doing every day, like even in cooking or saying prayers or whatever you believe in. So I think that's something guiding, mentoring, seeing the good things in people and seeing them grow and helping them to grow is something which I love, that they are, like, that's why I don't have a green hand, but I like to, every time the plant dies and I get a new plant, and I sow it and I try to bring it up. So
Yeah, I mean, be creative seems to be the mantra that you have lived by and you will continue to live by.
so whatever you should be hungry about that creativity. Don't think what will happen afterwards. If you have all the things, see your success, one, that what you call success, that's another story. But in the worldly sense, if you want to become successful as an artist, you have to have many different things. It's not only your art.
Sure.
Art is the core, but at the same time, like I used to tell I that if we don't go to people and tell them that what we have, how they will know? वो जमाना गया कि they will reiki and come, and there is Sucheta, someone like Sucheta Bhide who is doing something like that. See, our times are different. People are not going to come to us. We have to go to people and tell them what good we are doing. If you are not comfortable doing that, then I feel that you should be happy in what you are creating every day. Or just whatever, I love to revisit whatever I have done earlier, I feel sometimes that, wow, this is what I had done 10 years ago, So I want to really tell all the young artists that yes, Riyaz is important. Yes, what you do, that you have to present in front of someone, that is important. For that, creating infrastructure is important. PR is important, marketing is important, brand is important, everything is important. But at the core, if you are not happy with what you are creating, then all this will not give you that satisfaction. Maybe you will be successful, but it will not give you satisfaction. The first thing first is that in any, like, in every class we have these 5 minutes for even the girl age of 6. So this is Kataka Mukha, say, per se we have a Hasta Mudra, which is Kataka Mukha, which is like bangle and 2 fingers up. So what all you can do from this? The conventional way, they have given Vinyogas. But what you can think of doing with this Hasta? If you remember that Hasta name like this, you will never ever forget that. But if I tell them to mug it up and tell the names of the Hastas, they will definitely goof up. So I feel that this is what I live by, and this is what the younger generation should follow. It's a very easy trap to get into, that मैं इतना रियाज करती हूँ फिर भी nothing is happening. Are you happy with that?
Absolutely. I mean, on our podcast we were so fortunate to have an equally accomplished artist like you. What you have achieved in the world of Bharatnatyam and dance, Arundhati, this person has achieved in the world of singing, Hindustani khyal music. so we had Yashasvi Sarpotdar on our podcast, and she said something very, very beautiful, that after 4 decades of practicing her art, which is what you have been also doing for a little over 4 decades now. For her, the world revolves around a triad, she says, of talim, riyaz and adakari. Disciplined lesson taking, diligent practice and authentic performance. He says, if I keep doing that, there is a chance that I may get in touch with the mysteries and treasures of the art.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is, experience them and make it available to the audiences and the people, and which is what probably you are doing as well.
So there are 2 things. I always believe that art is soothe the disturbed, and it should disturb the who are comfortable. So both the things are important in life, in an artist's life. And I believe Bharata, who says that art should be relished. They are not for catharsis.
Rasanubhav.
Yes. So you have to digest. And I feel that the experience needs to be from heart to your brain. If it is from brain to it, then it is technique. Then it is, see, the trapezium artist, we call them artists, but that's technique.
Correct.
What is that is awe factor. But what will strike here first and then go to your analytical faculty will remain with you. That experience will remain with you for long. You might forget the artist, you might forget what he or she had performed, but that experience, what you got from that particular, action or sound or colors or lines or whatever, that will remain with you. Like Ravi Kaka paintings, I feel that it's an experience.
Sure.
It's not that he has worked in so many different mediums and so many different, like he has done ads and he has done paintings, like, they intrigue you so much. How can this happen? Because you have to respect that there is something like upayojitata, and that, if you understand, in the art for art's sake, there is no upayojitata. You can't take out anything. One day nothing will happen, but that nothingness also gives you something. And one day it will just, give you all the name, fame, whatever. So like Jayadeva, I feel that he only Gita Govinda. Why Jayadeva means Gita Govinda? Why? He has written several books before that. But that one cerebral book has given him what he is today. So it's really what I can say, I don't have a word for that. It's a different 1 hour. Like, I thank that old man that he really made me think about my own things in a very different perspective. And
by the way, before Arundhati leaves for her next journey, the old man says that journey requires a boarding pass. Like without a boarding pass, you can't board a flight. That journey also requires a boarding pass. And you will get the boarding pass only on one condition. And the condition is, what is it that Arundhati will say to her Param Guru now?
That thank you for bringing me in this world, first of all. Then being there for me at every turn when it was required, as it's very difficult, just to be there. You have to understand your child, that what kind of support your child needs. There are children who need actual support, like life. So I think my mother is been there like a guiding light for me. Every time whichever turn I am taking in my life, she's been there. She's never been actively involved because she knows how independent independent child I am, and I think I would love to be like that with her always.
So all I can say, Arundhati, is that voice will always be with you in the
Yeah.
journey forward.
Yeah.
You have the blank piece of paper and the pencil and the 4 companions. I mean, all I can say is wish you good luck.
Thank
That
you. Thank you so much.
there will always be light for you on the path that you have chosen or you will choose. And just as you have given joy to so many people up until now, I'm sure you will give so much joy to so many people going forward in whatever form it could
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
It's been such a great joy for me to be in conversation with you today.
Same here. Same.
I don't know what I am taking away with me, but love to hear from you. What are you feeling right now?
As I said, the old man has given me a different vision, a different perspective of my own thought processes, maybe, and also a thought that I need to fill that blank paper with a purpose from here onwards, because up till now I had everything in my mind, what I will do and how it will go and whatever, but I feel that it has made me think about that blank paper. How am I going to fill it with?
And by the way, in this entire story, the old man never asked you your name. And just as you are about to go, he says, "Hey, lady, I didn't ask you your name."
I am Arundhati.
Thank you for your time today, my dear listeners. This is your host, Milind Agnihotri, signing off. Goodbye, take care, and stay safe. This podcast is for general information purposes only and should not be considered as a piece of any professional advice. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of its guest. Creators of this podcast expressly disclaim any and all liability or responsibility for any direct or indirect, consequential or other damages arising out of any individual's use of this podcast. For feedback and suggestions, please write to wingsindia75@gmail.com. Thank you.